Anal Lovers 4-Pack, Books 13 to 16, Anal Sex Erotica, First Time Virgin Anal Erotica Collection. Copyright 2022 by Kimmy Welsh. Written by Kimmy Welsh. Narrated by Talula Rouge. One Wish for Anal, Anal Lovers 13. The carnival was a place I went to every time it came to town. I'd laughed, loved, been sick, cried, and everything in between over the years that it had been coming to town. I liked the danger of the rickety rides and the buzz that the place created. Even now, at 19, it was still a place I visited religiously. I wondered if I'd ever grow too old to enjoy it. Looking at Mr. Connors, the answer was a definite no. He was in his mid-40s, and he screamed and laughed with the best of them. He used to tutor me after school, and we became good friends despite a pretty awkward age gap of around 26 years. I don't know, we just clicked, and we'd stayed in touch because of it. He'd sit by me on the tilt-a-whirl and beg for it to be spun faster. The whole time, my knuckles would be turning white, and I'd be fighting against seeing my dinner again. I'd asked him long in advance if he was keen to go to the carnival this year, and I'd gotten the usual enthusiastic reply. "Hell yes, Bailey," he'd hollered down the phone. "I can't wait." Mr. Connors was always such a wholesome guy. It made what happened to us just that bit crazier, but I guess it was all my fault, really. My friends never came to the fair. They were all too sensitive to the rides. The one time I can remember them coming, they'd spent most of the evening complaining, voguing, and puking, and it had really ruined my night. So now Mr. Connors and I went together without them, and that was fine with me. Mr. Connors was one of the most careful guys I'd ever met. The fair was there, he really let his hair down, but he still made sure he didn't have too many sugary drinks or eat too much. He was like an adult nerd, and I loved him for it. He had a real Clark Kent kind of way about him. He was handsome, but it seemed like he did his best to hide it. When we arrived, Mr. Connors paid for a bunch of tokens that we could spend on the rides. I always said I didn't mind getting them, but he never let me pay. He was a gentleman like that. We stepped into the fair with wide-eyed wonder. For a minute or two, we just absorbed it. It might be hard to explain it to someone else, but there was something infectious about it for Mr. Connors and me. It was like it was the great leveler, you know. At the fair, everyone can be a big kid again. "This one first," I cried, pointing at this spinning death machine with 3 rotating carts on an axle connected to a spinning center. "How about a bet, Bailey? First one to spew loses," he laughed. We walked forwards and paid the fee. This one cost 3 tokens, but it looked to be one of the wilder ones. It tended to go up in token price like that. The crazier, the pricier. The attendant came round and shook the metal safety bar in front of us after we'd sat down. It rattled in place quite vigorously, but apparently that was perfectly acceptable because he soon moved on to the next cart. People around the edge of the ride watched, smiling. I don't know if they knew what was about to happen or whether they were just curious. To say I wasn't prepared would be an understatement. The double-spinning nature of the ride made me disoriented immediately. My eyes started to roll, and I screamed long and loud into the night. It was lost amongst the laughter and cries of everyone else at the fair. Mr. Connors sat beside me, laughing. He reached over at one point and gripped my fist. He looked in my direction, but I couldn't muster the neck power to turn my head and look back at him. "Fuck," I cried. It was the one time where Mr. Connors didn't mind me swearing. He laughed riotously. As the ride slowed down, I started to laugh with him, pretending that I was about to barf. "Hey, wait," he shouted, panicked. I started to laugh, and he realized I was joking. "Jesus," he said. "I thought our night was over before it began." We thanked the ride operator as we left, and then we stumbled back onto terra firma with legs like jelly. It took a while for both of us to get our bearings. Mr. Connors soon pointed out another ride that looked interesting, and off the both of us went.
Sample complete. Ready to continue?